Let's start with the good news today. The New York Mets don't play baseball. You can enjoy your day off today on Thursday, August 7th as you watch Mets Daily. I'm Jake Brown at Jake Brown Live. You can have a nice day without baseball today because the Mets will not disappoint you. A team that should be far better than they are right now cannot disappoint you. It's a sunshiny day. Go to the pool. If you got work, enjoy your day at work. Have an extra cup of coffee. Have an extra Diet Coke. I'm on day 3 without it right now. Just enjoy. Have a nice meal. Now, let's get to the negative. The New York Mets have hit rock bottom. This team looks defeated. They look lifeless. They look gutless. They look unwatchable. On Wednesday, they were no hit until the 9th inning with 1 out when Juan Soto hit a home run. Congratulations, you broke up the no-hitter. Then decided to pimp walk it because the Mets were down 4-1 and they broke up a no-hitter. So why not pimp walk a homer that barely made it over the center field wall? Best time to do it. This team looks like they don't care. It's a fan base that shows up every night, every day. They're selling out on a daily basis. They're top 5 in attendance. Yet this team continues to hit lazy ground balls, lazy pop-ups, strikeouts. And it's pissing me off. I've been the captain of positivity. I'm one of the few people in this fan base that covers this team every single day, that shows up every single day. I'm afraid I'm showing up more than the Mets are, and that shouldn't be the case when you're getting paid the money that these guys are getting paid. And, I still think there's time. It is August 7th. There is time to turn this thing around. But, man, has this team look the polar opposite of last year's Mets team? I mean, yes, they're 11 games over. The Mets are still 63-52. They're still in the 3rd wild card right now as they have dropped from the 1st to the 2nd and now to the 3rd wild card. Thankfully, the Phillies lost, so they're still 2.5 back, not 3.5. They're 3 ahead of the Reds for that final wild card spot. But they've lost 8 of their last 9. They're playing unwatchable baseball. They aren't playing team baseball. Not sending Tyrone Taylor home. That's why you sent him home, because since then they've done nothing. It's just a piss poor brand of baseball, and something has got to change here because this team has hit rock bottom as they enter this off day. They go to Milwaukee. You got to see Frankie Montas again on Saturday. And man, does Kodai Senga ever need a big start more than he does tomorrow to set the tone? It's Senga versus Woodruff, who's been great. Saturday, the Mets will probably go opener, and then Montas versus Henderson, who's been great. And then Sunday, it's Manaea versus Priester, who's been great. The Brewers have been incredible. They're 70-44. The Milwaukee Brewers right now are the best team in baseball. So the Mets are going to Milwaukee to face the number 1 team in baseball, a team that's won 9 of their last 10, that's on a 6-game win streak. They're the hottest team in the sport by a mile, and they're the best team in the sport record-wise by a mile. Something's got to give because this thing could get worse. If you get swept in Milwaukee, what do you do then? And the first change that should have been done already is moving on from Eric Chavez, Jeremy Barnes, one of the two or both. And I'm so sick and tired of them saying we're better than this, we're better than this. It was pretty apparent Wednesday when Carlos Mendoza was asked about it, when he talked about we're having trouble making in-game adjustments. Bingo. In-game adjustments is the hitting coach. The hitting coach is supposed to see what is going on. I mean, Mendoza's got other things going on. I'm not going to blame Carlos Mendoza. Has he been a good manager this year? No. But the Mets were 2 wins from a pennant last year, and that's not because of Eric Chavez. That's the team chemistry they had. Mendoza was pushing all the right buttons. He put pinch hitters in at the right time. He drew up the right lineups. This year, the lineup's been all over the place. They lead the league in different lineups. Clearly, no lineup has worked. And there's no in-game adjustments, which is exactly what he mentioned. That's on the hitting coaches. That's on Chavez and Barnes. So I'm not saying firing him and them or one of them is going to make all the difference in the world. But when it's been the same thing day after day, something has got to change. You can't trade players. You can't bench players. Who are you going to play? I mean, the trade deadline, you can't do anything about that. I agree that has to change. It's on the players. But are we going to keep saying it's on the players every day? There has to be accountability. And let's take a look at Eric Chavez, because we don't know if this is accurate or not. But Edwin Diaz Muse on Twitter put out these screenshots of tweets that feel like it's from an Eric Chavez burner, and the way that he responds to Instagram DMs, this would not be surprising at all if an Eric Chavez burner. It's Love Mets 12. It's a very burner-esque name with the Mets logo. Now, listen, it might not be. It could be a family member, but it seems very weird. And if you go through it, he's been deleting a lot of them. To defend Chavez to this level, it does not feel like it'd be anyone else. And they always come not during the games, which makes it extra suspect. You see this one. Yes, we are, and we love it. We're just collecting paychecks. Maybe because the hitting coaches aren't the ones hitting the ball. Fire all the coaches. We'll still be stuck with shitty players. Every MLB player gets help outside the organization. Judge has spoken. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that's him, but his track record of Instagram DMs, this would not shock me if Eric Chavez right now is on a burner account tweeting these things. And I'm not saying you fire him because of that. I'm saying you fire him because this approach, this team, they look lifeless. And listen, I think Mendoza's got to do a better job of firing him up too. I think the good thing about him is he is even keel. He is a Spanish-speaking manager. He can speak native language with a lot of these players. But at some point, he's got to flip a table. I mean, can he show he cares? Because listen, this is different personalities. Juan Soto's not a guy that's going to show that he cares. Let's be honest. He's a great player. I'm not saying it was an overpay. You shouldn't have done it. But he has a certain personality that looks like he doesn't care. That's just realistic. And I don't know if there's anything wrong with that, but he's going to keep playing, but he's not going to light a fire under the team. He's not going to make a speech. Lindor's not going to really light a fire. He might do a team meeting, but they've done the team meeting. It didn't do anything. So it's just different personalities. I think they're realizing now how important Jose Iglesias was, losing him. But someone's got to light a fire under their ass, and it should be on the manager. And the in-game adjustments, hitting, should be on the hitting coach. And I'm afraid, they're going to deaf ears. I mean, look at even Alvarez. Look how good he was in AAA. He comes here. There has to be accountability. And I agree it's on the players, but you can't change players. You can change coaches. And I thought Chavez should have been fired after the Pittsburgh series where they got swept and couldn't hit a lick. I mean, it's been consistent. How is the lineup so bad when they have so many good players? It's on them for sure, but it's on the coaches. So fire Eric Chavez, get it done. Here's the thing. It's not going to happen. I'm saying to do it. It's not happening. It's August 7th. Today would be the day to do it. Off day. Go to Milwaukee. I said, how about this? Let me know in the comments here. You're watching Mets Daily. Jake Brown, at Jake Brown Live. Hit that follow button. Scan that. Become a member of the Mets Daily Insider family for just $5 a month, cheaper than a cup of coffee. Smash that thumbs up on the video. Hit that subscribe button. Appreciate the support. On this Thursday, August 7th, my former co-host Nelson Figueroa will join me in our monthly spot tomorrow on a Friday show. Get you ready for the Milwaukee series. But how about Carlos Beltran? How about at least for the remainder of the season, you bring Beltran in here as your hitting coach? See what happens. Maybe they'll be inspired having, a legendary player as their hitting coach. Who knows if it'll work? Who knows if he'd accept it? He kind of has a cushy front office role already. Curious. Just give him a call. And maybe they have, and he said no. But just throwing it out there. Not saying he'd be interested, but Carlos Beltran as Mets hitting coach? What do you guys think? Drew a lot of buzz on Twitter at Jake Brown Live about that. Curious what you think. Well, the Mets could use a little help from the friends of the minors, and Carson Bench could be that guy. Carson Bench is raking in Double-A Binghamton, and there's a reason the Mets were comfortable trading Drew Gilbert. This guy's hitting .349 with 8 homers and 23 RBIs in 28 games in Double-A. He is tearing it up. And I know some people have said, how about Bench in September, like Michael Conforto, doing that Double-A to Major League jump where it worked? And at this point, I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, at first I said, no way, you can't do that. But at this point, why not? I mean, there's no spark coming from outside the organization. It might come from internal. Get Bench to AAA today. Get him a couple weeks in AAA. If he tears up AAA, get him up here. I mean, at this point, you got nothing to lose. I mean, we thought that they had too many players and they had problems with, who's going to play. No one's hitting, period. So I don't care if Winker and Siri come back. No one's hitting. And maybe you can use Carson Bench. How about Ryan Clifford? hitting 2 homers in Double-A last night. Clifford's a guy that I think is a potential replacement for Pete Alonso one day if the Mets move on from Pete, who is 1 homer from tying Darryl Strawberry. Ryan Clifford now has 23 homers, 72 RBIs, a 363 on base this year in Double-A. I'd imagine next year he's in the cards to play at some point. We'll see. But something's got to give here, guys. Enjoy your off day. Thanks for watching Mets Daily. Fire Eric Chavez. Follow me at Jake Brown Live. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Friday with Nelson Figueroa. No Mets baseball today, so the Mets won today. Thanks for watching, everybody.